Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a couple days since I put a video out here, which I've been kind of chomping at the bit, but got some good news finally. We got our storage unit cleared out into one of the storage sheds we have now in the back. So my totes with a lot of the other jerseys that I had that were over there are now they're all at the same location. They're just right out in the backyard here. So I can actually look through those. I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna have to wash a few of them, but that's got a couple of my it's got a couple of Nike jerseys in there. Has I think two starter jerseys that I have. I think I only have two starter jerseys that I will show and be able to compare with especially now with the NHL going away, or well, I shouldn't say the NHL, with Adidas deciding we're out of the jersey making game. I think they're completely done with hockey altogether. I don't think they even make any equipment or whatever. But I mean, there's a lot of players that have Adidas deals, that have Adidas sponsorships. Connor McDavid being, I think, the biggest one. His deal's done. His deal will be done when Adidas says hasta la vista. So, but I wanted to kind of do a little comparison here and why I want CCM to get the contract again. I mean, obviously this is another one of my CCM jerseys. The logo is awesome. I've always loved the logos on the CCM. They're embroidered nicely. The necklines I think are some of the best that are out there. I mean, you got a three colored neckline here. Now, in comparison here, the Adidas version of this, you're kind of keeping the same type of color, but as you can see here, all the colors go all the way around the neck, all the way around, all the way down to here. Where the colors on here, they don't do that. You got the yellow goes all the way around the back, but it only comes halfway down the front, and then it goes into the black. But then you got the red here, which still is not bad. It's not a bad look. Where it's interesting, you look at the neckline here, the red is in the middle on this, and it's on the top here. So it's kind of inverted. And the necklines on here they're not horrible, especially with the size 60s that these are. They don't feel like, if you have a big head, I kind of have a big head. But it doesn't feel like they're going to, strain, when you're trying to get it around your head, it doesn't necessarily feel like because some I've seen the jersey, it literally like wraps around their neck like this. I mean, there's no play there, there's no freedom. I mean, it looks like they're going, they're choking to death. And that's one of the things that I've always loved about the CCM. The CCM kind of has this V neck on it, which, has been, that's how it's been for years. They've always had these type of V necks. They're easy to get on. They're easy to put your head through. They're stretchy. And another reason, because here's another one of my Vancouver Canuck ones. And this is why I want this company to take it. Look at the neckline on this one, on Vancouver here. It's the V-neck, but look at the way the neck is. It's all one piece. It's all one piece, 3 color, and it's as you can probably see. Look, see how flexible that is? It's so nice to be able. It's easy to get it on your head. The other cool thing, and Adidas finally, with the prime greens, finally went back to how this should have been. CCM was doing this the whole time. Shoulder logo. Look at the shoulder logo here. That's all embroidered. as you can see, the material, it's all, I mean, that's all embroidered there. There's no one layer vinyl there. That's all embroidered. The CCMs were always fully embroidered like that, which is another reason why I've always liked CCM. And I'm trying to think. Yeah. Back here, here's another example of a CCM jersey that is really nice. This, the first style, Minnesota Wild, first year, or the first green jersey they ever had. Now CCM, of course, I mean they like to experiment with the necklines sometimes. You can, I mean, look at the neckline on this thing. It's a V. It's still a V-neck, and it's easy to get on your head, but it's more drooping. It's more of a drooping type of neck in comparison to like this one, where I mean, you can almost see. I mean, it's not exactly like same distance down. I think this one is a little further down on the neckline here, going down into the V part than this one. But again, and of course, CCM. Now this was the first year, the only real year that they used Pro Player. Now I do not have a Pro Player jersey, I don't think. Or is it starter? Wait a minute. That one might be in one of the totes over there too. Oh God, was that Pro Player? Or who? I can't remember right now, but I have a white version of a Minnesota Wild jersey that is, or is that Reebok? No, I think that was Reebok. But I do not have any Pro Player Minnesota Wild jerseys. That's kind of who the Wild went with. But while they were wearing Pro Player on the ice, they were still making the CCM versions. And whenever I would look at the Pro Player next to the CCM, I mean it wasn't even close. CCM was the better quality. And not just because it's the beauty of CCM. Look where they're made. Right there. Canadian made. That's where this was made. That's where basically most of all of my CCMs were made. And the material, like the Indonesian ones, the material is this AirNet polyester. If you can get a good look at it there, if you can get a look in the light there, it is the AirNet polyester on some of the later ones, but it's not as, it's more of a lighter feel than this. And with these logos too, these weren't sewn on. This is not a sewn on. This is not a sewn on logo. If I can get it out of here. There's part of it. There you can see. These aren't sewn on. These are just heat pressed on. But this thing has been ran through the dryer a ton. Or not through the dryer, through the washing machine. Dryer. Oh God. Never ever run your jerseys through the dryer. I have one back there. In one of those totes that I found. And it's one of my earlier ones. I think it was the first year Colorado Avalanche one. That got ran in the dryer. Don't do it. Because I had to get the logo stitched back on. Because it came off. So never, boys and girls, never put your jerseys in the dryer. I learned that the hard way. But this has been ran through the washing machine a lot. Look at it. It's, there's no bubbling. There's nothing. And the logo is fantastic on this. I mean, again, CCM has always, especially when they've been made in Canada, have always been the best quality when it comes to the logos. I mean, you can see the material there. Get a nice close-up view of it. It's not it's not sewn on. None of that is sewn on. But the embroidery is gorgeous. Going into the trees there's the river. The material was always fantastic. And again, as you can see, showing the light here, and there we go. A little better light. Might help if I actually turn some of my LEDs on here that I have. So, but you might be able to see here in the light. Look at, I mean, do you see any? There's no bubbling here. No bubbling whatsoever. And this is a jersey that I have had basically since the Wild's first year. So that tells you how old this jersey is. The Wild came in 2000. That's how old this jersey is. And again, the other cool thing, the beauty of CCM is the shoulder logos. Again, not heat pressed, but look at the embroidery. Look at the detail in that. I mean, that's fantastic. And the fact that it took Adidas that long, the fact that they went away from this when Reebok came in to that one layer vinyl, which is god awful, and then Adidas finally with the prime greens made the embroidered logos. Now again, these are not sewn on. These are not sewn on, but they were glued down so nice that it didn't need to be sewn on because it wasn't coming off. That's how good that it was. That's how good the material was. And of course, in some places, let's see, is it like that in this one? Do they have? Yeah, no, CCM did something too, because in the late 90s, they, you had the CCM tag here, and you didn't have, and that was just the tag. Now, when they went into the 2000s and the early vintage line, they started adding the extra CCM in the tag, which I think that was, I don't necessarily know why they did that, but it was kind of what they did at the time. It doesn't take away from the way the material is or anything, but this is why I really want the NHL to go back to CCM. CCM, as far as I can remember, up until 2006, made the jerseys. They had made the jerseys from, like I said, about as far as I can remember, because that's since I started my collection. I started collecting in 1992, and it was always CCM. I think CCM started making the jerseys. 1988 maybe? Might have been even a little before that, maybe 87 is kind of when they started getting into the jersey making, making the jerseys, and they were fantastic. They've always been fantastic. And that's kind of why I want them to go back to that and go back to this. You don't need that, I understand, you make the different technology for the material and this, that, and the other. Players didn't mind these. I mean, the thing that I think a lot of the players minded was this wasn't really good at beating away water. This would absorb a lot of water, which is why they kind of went to that newer, what is it? Like the play dry technology. And some of my shirts are like that. The shirt I have under this is one of those type of beat away type where, the sweat will kind of be in there, but it doesn't stain or anything, which is, unlike some of the normal cotton material where you'll get the white stain around wherever, like, if you're doing a lot of work like we were doing clearing out the storage shed, making 4 or 5 trips, unloading and all that. And it was a relatively warm day, so I burned like 3,000 calories. It was insane. Or was it 4,000? Damn near. Actually, I think it was almost 4,000. But it was, did a lot of sweating. But you didn't see the white, you didn't see any white sweat stains around the play dry stuff, the more water beating. And that's, I think, what a lot of the players didn't like, was these didn't really beat away water. And that's what, when they went to Reebok, that's what their stuff was supposed to do. But it really didn't. It didn't really work that well. And then basically, as the Reebok on ice ones were still basically this. They were the AirNet. They were still the AirNet polyester. They were a lot heavier though. It was similar to this material, but it was still a little heavier made than this, because this is just a replica. But those were the best ones. And I wish I would have a Reebok Edge 2.0, because it's the 2.0 that they went with as the when they went away from the initial water beating stuff. But even if CCM, there's nothing wrong with these. The players didn't mind them at all. The players ended up liking the more breathable type, jerseys that they didn't feel like they were like this in, which is what the Reebok ones were. And they were just, it wasn't the greatest. But that's why, hopefully in 2 years, and a lot of people are saying Nike. I have a couple of Nike ones out there that I can show. I think my Olympic ones are out there too, and I can show how short those are. Because, the Nike jerseys are a little short. The 2XLs, in comparison to this is a 2X, and I will be able to compare the two. I will be able to show just how much shorter those are, and that's what worries me about Nike taking over. It just, and some people have said Under Armour. I don't know. No, I don't. I am not a fan of Under Armour. All of their stuff is that skin tight freaking, you've got no, you can't move. I've seen people wearing the Under Armour. It's like, it's this skin tight stuff, and it just, I'm not a fan of the Under Armour. And that's not how jerseys are supposed to be. That was my one big thing when they switched over from to Reebok, was the way they changed the cut, because the cut of this, as you can probably see, this is more of a straight line cut down the side. Reebok decided they were going to go like this. And it wasn't great. That's why they had to make the 3 and 4Xs the next year. Because a lot of people would try to put on a 2X in comparison to the 2X CCM, and I was one of them. It wouldn't go past my chest. So, where at least the Adidas aren't bad. The Adidas actually fit relatively well. They're very similar. They're very similar fit, but they're not. They're still not cut like the CCMs were, and that's where I think, especially for fans, we'd love to have this, the CCM style cuts. They're nice. They're comfortable, and and with all of them, and that's what worries me about some of the other, because you never know, they might go completely off the reservation and go with somebody new again, like Warrior. I was hearing as another is one that, and I'm like, I don't know, but the Made in Canada ones were nice. This is a Made in Canada vintage CCM. Just like, some of my my CCM Canucks and Wild jerseys, they're made in Canada. They were great. The stitching is nice. You can yank on that. That's not going anywhere. The stitching was very well done, always has been. And where Reebok, the jersey snagged, snagged a lot. And, Adidas didn't really snag a whole lot, thankfully, but it's still the same company. But yeah, so that's kind of my reasoning why I want them to go back to CCM. For 20 years in my collecting, it was CCM. And like I said, I have some others from Starter, from Nike, and I wasn't that crazy about them. I didn't think the Nike ones back in the late 90s were okay. They were actually okay. I have one back there that's one I'm probably gonna have to get washed, because the last time I looked at it, it was now white. It's a white jersey. That's the reason why I gotta probably get it washed. I don't even know if it's all gonna come out, but it looked pretty haggard. But the logos were very similar to CCM, so I didn't necessarily really mind the Nike ones back in the late 90s, but I'll be able to show that to you. And so that's still kind of my push for wanting CCM to take over the hockey jerseys again. The NHL, they came full circle going back to ESPN when they messed up in 2005 and went away from ESPN. And it took them this long to finally get the revenues back up to where they probably could have been back then if they'd have stayed on ESPN after the 04-05 lockout. But that actually could be a video. That could be a video for another day, looking into that whole thing. But they went full circle back to ESPN. So why not? You went away from CCM in 2006 or 7, 2006, I think. I think 06 was when they came out of the lockout. I think was the first year they went. Was that the first year that they went to? No, they went to Reebok in 07. I think it was 07. But how fitting would it be? They came full circle going back to ESPN. Let's go full circle again. And let's have CCM make the jerseys again. They're fantastic. I would love to see that happen. And from what I've seen in a lot of comment sections on other videos and that, I think a majority of people that at least I've seen in comment sections, they want that too. They want to see it go back to CCM. So fingers crossed, that in 2 years, that CCM can make a comeback into the NHL. Let's hope. I thank you guys for being here. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you were new, hopefully you got through the whole video. If you did, that's awesome. And if you liked it, hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. That would make you guys legends. And yeah, and especially if you're new and this is the first video you've seen, awesome. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Go check out some of the other videos. And again, if you like them, hit that subscribe button. That would be absolutely fantastic. About 65% of the people that view my channel are not subscribed. So kind of like to get that number a little down and the subscriber percentage up. But the fact that people are viewing my channel is pretty cool too. So yeah, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, hit that subscribe button. That would be absolutely fantastic. And let me know in the comments section. Do you guys want? Because I've seen in some of the comments in some of the other videos, a lot of them want CCM. Some of them want Nike. Some want something different. But let me know in the comments section. Do you guys like the CCM, or would you like them to see, go to something completely different, and then it's just kind of a flip of the coin? Let me know your thoughts. And again, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, hit like and subscribe. That'd be fantastic. I'll see you guys again later.